That's why I
What?
was like, nah,
We are the most smartest human beings on this planet.
we are great.
And once you have a chance to really dive into your art, your creative side,
Yeah,
you don't even know how mind blowing your story could be to others.
that's a fact. That's a
So
fact. Like it really, like he's shown that. Okay, yeah, I'm making a movie that everyone could watch, but at the end of the day, this is our movie. And when I say our, I mean black folk. It's
yeah,
our movie. Like this is our history we're talking about. We're talking about our music, the blues. So I was like, yeah, I really love this, and it was original. Like he didn't copy it off of nobody. And all these were original ideas of his.
I
And we
know.
got like 300 million. I'm gonna say it. Seeing him shoot up Ku Klux Klan members made me feel good. I'm sorry. I'm gonna admit that. Seeing that made me feel good, especially on a big ass IMAX screen.
You stupid as fuck.
That made me feel good. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to say that. I had to say that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But
Make
no,
a sequel
I
without Ryan Coogler.
please don't do it.
He's serious.
I'm very serious. Please don't do it. Oh, Michael B. Jordan, great job, Ryan Coogler.
I'm
For
like,
sure.
And I think if you now that you know it was overhyped, I think if you rewatch it, knowing that all the other BS you heard and seen, you're like, whatever. I'm just gonna watch it for my enjoyment. I think you would like, you know what? Nah, I was hard on this movie the first time. I think if you watch it again by yourself, chilling, smoking, or drinking a.
no. See, I should have never told you. Again, I should have never told you.
I'm sorry, I'm only playing. I'm
I
trying.
don't know secret.
Welcome to the bonus episode. I'm your host, DSP, and I'll be joined by the beautiful Ree of the New Normal podcast later on. As you may already know, this is going to be our official Sinners review. This won't be your typical review where we just go through the movie to show you how we feel about it. In this episode, I wanted to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of the film. We discussed what we loved about it, we also discussed what we felt could have been done better, and we also discussed what we didn't like. One thing about me is you don't have to share the same perspective as me, but I am willing to listen to an opposing one. And Ree is always an amazing guest when I request her to come on the platform. Sinners is a 2025 American film produced, written, and directed by Ryan Coogler. Set in the 1930s in the Mississippi Delta, this movie is the perfect blend of the timepiece, musical, love story, and horror genres all in one film. I absolutely enjoyed the film, but as for my co-host, not so much.
I feel like this. There was some really, really good parts, the storylines, to find out a little bit about where they came from. What because everything happened in one day. There was a lot of shit that happened in one day. You know what I'm saying? They just arrived, they bought a fucking building, they opened up a club, they looked for a band of people to play, somebody to cook the food, somebody to be at the door. Like they was doing a lot of shit
Right.
that day. And anyway, so I mean that was cool. We got to learn backstories on them and everything like that. But I wish the storylines were longer. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like the relationships. I think that's what I was missing. We were
Okay.
not so fast or whatever. Like we got like little snippets of the relationships with the girls that they were dealing with, the women they were
Okay.
dealing with, whatever.
Okay. So that was one of your issues. I feel that. I feel you.
Then it just jumped right into the vampires. Like they came in town and shit, and then he fucked some people up, and then he got him a squad now, and then it's like, what the fuck?
So you thought the character development was a little shallow.
Yeah, I wish it was just more. It was
Right.
so shallow. It should
Right,
have
right.
more,
Right.
more. Because I mean, they gave us some good little small scenes, but I mean, I wish I would have got more, especially with what's the young lady name, the one who was into spells and witchcraft and like voodoo and shit. I forgot her name.
Oh, I forgot her name. I know her real name, but no, Mary was was Haley's character. Give me a second. I'm about to get it right now. But yeah, I really loved her character in the movie.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But she were in depth because she was protecting them. Like she had a lot of like they didn't get into it like they should have. Like her.
I'm not. You know what? I'm not even mad at that take. I'm not even mad at that because I'm like, you know what? You are absolutely right because they could have delved into the relationships more, because it definitely could have impacted the ending for sure.
Exactly.
For sure. It could have.
Really loved and enjoyed it. I just didn't get, I wanted to feel that too. And I didn't feel it how they was telling like this is the best movie ever of all time. Ever.
Okay. All right. Now, see, I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm not saying that. You didn't hear me say that. I just said it's a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. It's not
what people were saying though. It's the best movie ever.
You know what it is though? There's been a lot of mediocre movies that came out lately. So when some people see something that's like, oh my goodness, this is really good, they're going to over exaggerate. They're going to be like, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen. And you're like, I've seen really good stuff, but this is not there.
I would say this. So anyway, I feel like.
You feel that it was overhyped.
That part.
I remember when you put out the piece of content on your page, New Normal Podcast, make sure you follow that. And you said, you were like, it's not a bad movie. It's just, I felt like I expected more. And I was like, I already know what she's talking about. Because I remember before I went to see the movie, I would see how people were breaking it down. And I got to a point where I was like, you know what? Let me see the movie for myself first, so I could see what Ryan's trying to say, because maybe this person may not be interpreting it correctly.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I was like, I'll just wait.
I watched so many. I mean,
you probably, yeah. Nah, trust me. When you were like, I don't think this movie's all that, and I was like,
I fully understand what she means when she stated that the love story could have been expounded on, because, as I said, it could have made Smokes and Stack's ending even more profound. Although, I feel the relationships were impactful to the story nonetheless. I do understand where Ree says she wanted a little more. She also told me that she watched a lot of reviews and hype videos for the film before watching it. All of that hype when the movie came out can definitely ruin or even ruin the experience for someone who hasn't seen it yet. Because when they do go see it, they're expecting something but get something totally different. That is one of the reasons why I stay away from reviews until I see the movie for myself. Because not everyone interprets things correctly or even see it the same way as another viewer. Art is subjective, so what one person may see and be moved by may not move another person the same way. And of course, we have those reviewers who get paid to hype up a film to get others to watch. I won't allow something like a review to ruin my experience of watching the film. I feel it's the reason why I truly enjoyed the movie the way I did, among other reasons. I'm not going to bore you to death with this intro, because I'm sure you guys want to hear what we have to say about the film in depth. I just wanted to say it now. If you haven't watched the film and you're watching this, here is the point: you may want to stop the video because the spoilers are coming out without prejudice, and we don't want to be the ones to ruin your experience when watching the film. We'd rather you watch the film than come back to this video to see if we share the same sentiments about the film or not. Grab a snack, grab a drink, take a seat, and enjoy. Thanks for watching the video. As I mentioned earlier, the blending of the multiple genres of film in one movie did it for me. I've been watching films for a very long time, and I can honestly say when I watch a film that has different genres merged into it, I normally enjoy the film. And this was definitely the case with Sinners. Being able to blend a musical, love story into a timepiece with horror elements is just mind-blowing. And the writing was amazing. Not a dull moment within the dialogue. Every sentence had a meaning, whether it was minute or profound. If you weren't paying attention, you may miss a few key pieces of exposition needed to fully grasp the story.
Someone like me that loves movies, when I seen that, I was like, oh shit, Ryan Coogler is the one. Because he made a timepiece, a musical. He also made like a family type of movie, because you can't deny Stack and Smoke's chemistry, although it was one guy. He played two different people.
I mean, but you didn't know that. Like, you can't even do it. It was very different. Like,
it was so good how Michael B. Jordan did that.
They both was different.
Two different people. Like, you almost forgot it was just Michael B. Jordan. And I was like, yo, he bodied that role. And the love story from Stack's side and Smoke's side, they both had a love story. And then, of course, the horror with the vampires, and then you incorporate that with the music and with the family, and it's like, holy shit, Ryan thought of this? All of this? He wrote this himself? That's crazy.
There were many great moments within the film with so much cultural and historical significance. Perhaps one scene that got both of our attention is the scene with the Choctaw natives chasing Remick.
With the Indians. When the Indians came through,
Thank you for reminding me. I did not want to forget that.
And they're like, have y'all seen so? No, we haven't. You know? Okay.
Yo, but did you see? You seen how he looked? He peeped the robes. He was like, "Are you sure? Because I know what type of people y'all are. Are you sure?" He's like, "All right, sun's about to go down. I'm about to be out. Have a nice night." Because he knew what was gonna happen to them. Like, what was great about that is that if you remember, Remick is Irish, and many of the Choctaw people took care of the Irish immigrants when they came here. So that's what made that connection so crazy to me, because Remick is Irish and he probably was a vampire before he got into those people's tribal area, and then they dealt with him, tried to pack him up, he ran, and he got into the I wish Ryan Coogler would do so much more with that universe, but I don't think he wants to.
Not a very long scene, but just within those few minutes of that scene, so much was said without being said. And that is another element of the film I truly enjoyed. The writing and the amazing cast knew how to draw the viewer into their world and keep us there, to the point where the audience didn't want to leave. I want to give Miles Canton his flowers for an amazing job for his first major acting role in a film.
People don't realize Preacher Boy is the main character of the movie.
Yeah, I just said, yeah.
Because the way they sold the movie, they sold it like Smoke and Stack were the main characters. But it was really Preacher Boy. Sammy. I think that was his name, right? Sammy Preacher Boy. He was the main character.
Acting gig. He was background singer for like her and different books.
Yeah, he was on tour and everything. I knew all about him. So, but what I didn't know is that he had to learn how to play the blues, and I think in like 3 weeks. And I'm listening to him in the movie, and I'm like, this doesn't sound like somebody that just learned it. Like, I knew he could sing. Like, I knew that. That I wasn't shocked at that. The fact that he was able to play it, I was like, wow.
Well, when you focus on some shit.
So yeah, like you said, we're gifted.
You're gonna go hard for that shit.
Like you said, we're gifted. Like you said earlier, we are gifted. So once we put our mind to something, we will do it.
How many instruments Prince played? I mean,
happy belated birthday to that man.
I'm not going to lie. The way the movie was marketed, I thought the twins were the main characters. But the main character was, in fact, Preacher Boy. His character is the one with the gift that transcends time and space by using his voice. The other characters like Annie and Mary were great compliments to the twins for their story arcs. Annie, being a hoodoo priestess and wife of Smoke, she knew how to handle his cold, pragmatic nature. She did what she could to protect him, whether he believed it or not. As long as she did, he was going to respect it.
For sure. It would have made the ending hit hard. Annie's her name. Annie.
Yeah. Annie was very important. And she had to show it a little bit, but she was like protecting this thing. When he was in Chicago, she was protecting him. She created this little chain or whatever of different herbs and different things just to keep him good or whatever, even though he wasn't away from her.
And the other part was he didn't even really believe in it.
But he didn't believe in it, but he believed in it. I'm gonna say that.
Right. He knew that, if she feels that it'll protect me, I'm gonna use it, and it did. So, to me, that was probably that part of the movie was probably the main love story to me. Like, Stack and Mary was cool, but I felt that was more or less for like the horror part of the movie, because that's when they took over.
Stack's love interest, Mary, is also an interesting character. She knew the twins since they were children. The Smokestack twins were abused by their father, and Smoke murdered him since he abused Stack the most. Mary's mother would take care of them as they grew older. In the meantime, Stack and Mary grew very close, so close that the relationship was no longer platonic.
No, I waited for you.
Shit, well, I don't know how in the hell you gonna do that.
Because you told me you loved me.
Well, I told you to stay the fuck away from me too, but I guess you didn't hear that part, huh?
I heard you. I heard you loud and clear, but then you stuck your tongue in my coos and fucked me so hard, I figured you changed your mind.
Keep your voice down now. It's not...
You have to remember, in the 30s, interracial dating was taboo. Taboo enough to where people felt justified killing you with impunity. The story arc for Stack and Mary is forbidden love. Forbidden due to the time period they lived in. She would have gotten herself killed, the patrons of the juke joint killed, or all of the above.
This is when they started, they came up there and they got this, and then sent the white girl Mary out there.
Right.
Like she was gonna make everything cool because she feel like she white and she can talk to them.
I could talk to them. Right.
Anyway, her ass ended up getting hit the fuck up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what happens.
Then she
Stop
came
playing.
in there. She was looking for Stack. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. She came
in looking for blood. She came right to her boo. She came in dancing, working her shoulders. I was like, oh, she got the devil in her. Loving him down, took him to the room, and it was a wrap.
That's what happens to you fellas out there. Y'all get a little something pretty and shit all on you. Then they trap your ass.
I'm telling you, there were so many double meanings in that movie. If you didn't catch them, you didn't catch them. But like you just mentioned it right there. Like you had, like Stack, he was already messing with her, but he had no idea what happened to her, and he was like, "Oh, you acted kind of different," because she was all on him, and he was like, "Oh, whoa, what's this?" To the point where he was down to go do it in the juke joint. He didn't care.
Anyway, and then she was just
man, they could tell her story. Like they could tell her family story, how her granddad was black and how that affected their family and on her side, and why she was so open to being around black people, because she still looked white, but she didn't care. She was like around black folk. She was like, I'm black.
Her grandma.
Yeah, her granddaddy. I think her granddaddy was black. She said her grandmother was Asian, Filipino or something like that. And her granddaddy was black. And I was like, oh, and that's really her lineage for real, like in real life. And I was like, oh, okay.
That'll be good.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. Warner Brothers, do not make a sequel without.
And Mary, and that's a realistic relationship now. You know, a lot of people be fucking with somebody for so long, and they really can't be with them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The person be more persistent.
You know, I forgot about that dynamic between them. Thank you. See, that's why I love having conversations. I forgot that the reason they couldn't be together because interracial dating at the time was so taboo. Stack might have gotten killed. That's right. Yeah, and it's not, and he wasn't doing that because, right? He wasn't doing that because he didn't like her. He was doing that like, yo, you're putting all of us in danger. But she didn't care. Oh, I forgot about that. Thank you for bringing that up. Thank you so much for bringing that up. That's right. That was part of their arc. Forbidden love. That's it right there. Oh, wow. You're the best, Ree. You're the best.
Perhaps the most controversial characters of the film have to be Bo and Nancy, the Chinese couple who owned 2 grocery stores due to the segregation laws in the South at the time. Bo ran the store that was patronized by black people, and Nancy ran the store that was patronized by white people.
Oh, we'll spin the block around too with the Asian family, and they'll try to show you how the Asians that did come up here, they fuck with us. And they had
well, not completely. If you look at the wife, she is a great case study of I'll only mess with you if it's convenient for me.
Well, you let me finish what I was about to say.
Oh, okay, my fault. Because Bo, he was down. Bo was down.
They were accepted by the white folks, and the black folks eat them for certain shit or whatever. So yeah, right. She was about the money game. It's what them dollars at. I thought right. She was about the money. It's like that still to this day. It's about the money when it comes to them. Period. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, but I like that they put them in there because they were around.
Yes, they were all over the Delta. That's a fact.
Mm-hmm. So that was cool. Little.
The controversy has nothing to do with their ethnicity or nationality. It had to do with this exact scene right here. Yes, this scene had everybody in the movie theater sick. Even with the film showing that their daughter Lisa may be in danger, the viewers didn't appreciate Nancy making that decision on her own. And I could low-key understand that. The reason why the scene didn't bother me so much is because I understand how humans can be when they're under pressure. Some are able to handle it, and others fold.
Smoke's ending, and what did you think of Stack's ending? Because they had two different endings.
Well, with Smoke, the next day when he had to kill the KKK people trying to get the building and shit, and then he was like, fuck it, my girl home. Fuck it, I'm about to go out. I'm about to go out like goddamn Cleo and set it off. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. And then when he did that, he was able to be with him and the baby.
Right, and the baby.
I like his shit.
I felt that shit.
With Stack,
Remember, the whole baby was their story, their little plot line, their little arc throughout the movie, because they would talk about the baby every now and then. You know what I mean? And she would say, hey, the baby's waiting for me, or the baby's waiting for us. So to see that at the end, I was like, ooh, and of course, I'm going to say it, seeing him shoot up Ku Klux Klan members made me feel good. I'm sorry. I'm gonna admit that. Seeing that made me feel good, especially on a big ass IMAX screen.
you stupid as fuck.
That made me feel good. I'm sorry. I had to say that. I'm sorry. But no, I really liked his ending too. I'm with you on that one for sure. What'd you think of Stack's ending?
Stax and Barry. I mean, you can do a vampire now, so he gonna live your life, you know, and stuff like that. But when they went to go see Preacher Man, I think he dead too. I think he's a vampire. That didn't have his reflection was not in that. His reflection it wasn't in the mirror.
It was in the bottom right corner. I want you to go see that again. His reflection was in the bottom right corner.
I'm not seeing it.
I'm serious. Check it again, because trust me, when they were saying that, I was like, nah, because he's aging. If you notice, Mary and Stack did not age a day. They did not age a day. They still looked exactly the same. The only thing was they had updated gear and Stack had more hair. He had the cool Dior and the high top fade.
I still think that Preacher Boy is something.
Nah, Preacher Boy has the gift.
He's something like he's a god or something. He's not.
Preacher Boy has the gift. I think that he figured out how to control it because obviously he was able to do gigs everywhere and not summon the spirits. So I think he figured out how to control it. And that's another thing they could have done more with, but they didn't.
No,
that's why
Mary let him live though. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was cool with him.
But yet, you know why though? Did you hear what Stack said to him? He was like, I made a promise to Smoke not to touch you.
Oh, I don't remember.
That's when he offered, do you want me to play something for you? Because he was like, oh, you kept the promise. Because if you remember that scene at the end of Smoke's ending, the reason why he was outside is because Stack and Mary were inside. He protected them from the sun.
Oh.
That's the only reason why they lived.
I gotta watch it again. You caught some shit.
Listen, I watched the movie twice in the theaters.
Okay.
First time regular screen, second time IMAX.
Which one?
I really like. You're talking to someone that like. If I did one of those reviews online, I probably would have pissed you off. You would have been like, "Oh my God, this guy is gassing it." But no, I didn't take nothing from anybody.
As you see, we both enjoyed how the film ended, but there was a little confusion on Ree's part. She didn't realize that Smoke saved Stack and Mary from the sun, and that Stack made a promise to Smoke not to touch Sammy. Both endings were satisfying, although one was ambiguous. Smoke's ending, as you heard, was him shooting up a bunch of Klan members before succumbing to gunshot wounds and meeting up with his family in the afterlife. As for Stack's ending, there was a time jump to the 90s where we see an older Sammy playing the blues. As he finishes his gig, in walks Mary and Stack with 90s attire and looking exactly the same. This is where it was revealed that Smoke saved both Stack and Mary by putting them in the juke joint at sunrise. Stack also let Sammy know he made a promise to Smoke that he won't hurt him. They exchange some words at the end, and they go their separate ways. Absolute cinema. If you made it this far, we would like to say thank you because you could have been doing anything else, but you gave us your time and we appreciate it. I hope the two different perspectives were conveyed properly. My perspective was I absolutely love the film the way it is, and Ree's perspective was it's a good film, but she felt more could have been done. And to be honest with you, I'm not mad at her take at all. I agree that some of the elements of the story could have been elaborated on, but like I said, I had no issue with the way the film was because everything was done so masterfully in my opinion. If you have seen the film and you're watching this, let us know in the comments how you felt about the film. We would truly love to hear your thoughts on it. I've had people tell me they loved it as much as I did, and I've heard people say, nah, it wasn't all that. Obviously, the movie is polarizing. We even had folks at the church try to denounce the movie, but like Reese stated, the film is ultimately a spiritual.
How they went through all the genres of music and where it really was birthed from or whatever. And
from the blues, right?
And how we still we need that. Like we're still connected to that. And it came from, to me, it was ultimately about God. I'm gonna say that because.
I'm glad you mentioned that. But go ahead.
Huh?
I'm glad you mentioned that because it's been getting a lot of hate from that side of the world, the holy people saying, but I'm like, this movie's pretty spiritual.
They're hating for the wrong reasons. They're just
right.
A voodoo movie or whatever, and shit like that or whatever. They have like a voodoo movie and then the vampires and all that shit. So they all like, oh no,
Right. But the movie's very spiritual.
That's
right.
And a lot of them don't, you know what I'm saying? They practicing that shit in church right now. When they have communion Sunday, they drink the wine and they eat the little biscuit or bread because it's the body of Christ. What is that?
Talk about it.
Today, when it's the jumping room and whatever, I mean, y'all putting superstitions and all the stuff, burning incense.
Right.
That.
All spirituality.
What are y'all really saying? Y'all really know what you're saying. Y'all really don't even know what y'all saying, for real.
Right.
You know? This shit is like, it's way deeper, but it was ultimately God. When I say that, when they were talking about, we were talking to Preacher Boy, and they was asking him about, like, is his daddy putting hands on him? He's like, nah, he don't do me like that, whatever. Because you know how they were raised. It was with a tough father, beating up.
With an iron fist. Yep.
Or whatever. And then he was like, well, I'm good, it's good. And Preacher Boy, he was like, he loved God, but he also loved other genres of music.
He loved music, right? He loved the blues.
Yeah, I couldn't understand that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, he's trying to make him choose God. Like, you know, but God was already there. You know? So
like that, right. Oh, that's so, I love that you said that. He was already chosen.
Yeah.
He was already chosen. He had the gift. Right.
So, let's fast forward to when it actually opened up.
Yes.
When
that's when the scene happened, right? When the whole scene I just talked about, when they opened the juice joint. Right.
And then the roof caught on fire because I was kind of like,
right.
And then he had brought in the dark side.
The dark side, yes.
They wanted some of that. They wanted some of that. Oh, I got it.
By the way,
I'm sure you guys have heard the rumors about the studio wanting to do a sequel and how Ryan Coogler doesn't want to do a sequel. Warner Brothers is interested in making a sequel due to the film's box office success, and they would love to have Ryan Coogler return as the director. As I mentioned prior, Ryan Coogler has no interest in creating a sequel. Here I am explaining to Ree the whole sequel rumor.
But back to what you were saying.
I don't know if you heard, they're talking about doing the Sinners too. Did you know how they
and they said they want to do it without him, and I'm like, I'm not watching that.
Do it without who?
Ryan Coogler.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was the report. The report first came out originally. It said Warner Brothers, of course, the studio, is interested in doing a sequel. And they were like, yeah, they would love to have Ryan Coogler to do it. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's great. I would love to see a sequel. Then another report comes out saying Ryan Coogler is not interested in doing a sequel. And I was like, oh, I could see that because he opened and closed the story in one film. So I could see that. And I saw another report where it said...
Did he close the story? He did not close the story.
Not really. Because Stack and Mary are still alive.
That's what I'm saying. In the 90s.
Right. So he could continue to tell the story.
Decades to get to 2025.
Right. And the thing is with that is I don't think if Warner Brothers does the movie without Ryan Coogler, I don't know if they'll get Michael B. Jordan.
What it ain't gonna make no sense.
Yeah, unless Michael B. Jordan is directing, and Coogler is like, okay, I'm cool with that. That's the only way.
It ain't gonna be good without either one of them.
You need both of them. You need both of them working together.
I ain't hear that.
Yeah, no, because and Warner Brothers is talking about, yeah, we'll do it anyway. I'm not watching what you're doing. It has to be right.
The soul gonna be.
Like it won't have the same feel that Ryan brought to it.
As you just seen, I have no intention of watching a sequel without Ryan Coogler directing it. And yes, you know Warner Brothers' greedy ass want that sequel money because studios only care about cash grabs, not the actual art of the filmmaking. I had told Ree an idea that I had in regard to expanding the Sinners universe. Here I go explaining my idea to Ree.
I feel like if they did revisit the Sinners universe, they should give us a prequel. Show us, or even do a miniseries. So show us what happened to Smoke and Stack.
Like,
right? That's while they were in the Delta, when they went to Chicago, when they went to war, and then end it right before the movie starts.
I think that'd be good. I would watch that.
Really, because you can tell the story. You can tell how deep the love is between Smoke and Annie, Stack and Mary. Right? And you can even bring in Preacher Boy's dad because remember, they had issues with each other. Preacher Boy's dad and their dad were brothers. And remember what their dad used to beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
And that guitar was their dad's.
I know.
So like, oh my God, they could do so much with that. That's why I was like, if they do it, they would have to make it before Sinners. So they can tell everybody's story. And you can even bring in Remick. You can show how old Remick is. To show how long.
That would be good. That's a good concept.
I think that's what, if Ryan Coogler were to do that, he would make a killing.
He would. That'd be good.
I think because then what happens is you amplify Sinners with that movie. Because Sinners is already good. Now you give it the prequel, you're gonna make people be like, "Oh man, I have to go see Sinners again."
Yeah.
Because now I know everything. You know what I mean? You could see Annie with the baby right before he leaves, while she's pregnant, right before she leaves. You can do all that. I think it would be fire.
I think if they were to do what George Miller did recently with the Mad Max series, it can definitely amplify the original film. I truly hope you guys enjoyed this episode featuring my lovely co-host Rhea of the New Normal Podcast. Please be sure to follow her on Instagram. Here is her IG profile name. Make sure to tap in with her. Please be sure to follow my Instagram page. That's it right there. Once again, I truly appreciate you watching this video because you could have been doing anything else, but you decided to tap into this content. Thanks again for watching the video. I'm DSP, and this is the Blast Podcast.